Hello cousins, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Big Mama Cooks and I have an Instagram page where I post recipes all the time at Big Mama Cooks _. Today we have the very last Soup Saturdays soup recipe and we are having none other than my very favorite soup. I mean this one is my favorite. This is going to be tortellini with bacon soup. Let's get right to it. I'm going to start off by pan frying some bacon in its own fat. When you pan fry bacon, you don't need to add any kind of fat, any kind of oil because it grills in its own fat. I made about 10 pieces because I like extra bacon in this soup. All of the ingredients are going to be listed in the bottom bar, but here I have a whole white onion, some garlic, some carrots, and some dried thyme. In a pot going on medium-high heat, I have 1 tablespoon of olive oil and I add in all of my veggies and I am stir-frying them around. Next, I added in 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Remember, the bacon is already salty. And I also added in 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. I also added in 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning and 1 teaspoon of dried thyme. And I mixed everything around really well together. At this point, I lowered the flame to medium. And I added in, this is 1/4 cup of flour. And 1/4 cup is the equivalent to 2 tablespoons. And I mixed everything around really well together. I added in 1 tablespoon at a time. So the first one you saw was the first tablespoon. Remember, 1/4 cup is 2 tablespoons. And then I added in the second tablespoon and continued mixing. If you don't have one of those larger measuring cups, like the cup measuring cups, you can use a tablespoon for measurements. When my flour and veggies were well combined, I added in my low sodium chicken broth. I added in 5 cups of low sodium chicken broth. Why do I keep saying low sodium? I personally like to use low sodium because it makes it easier for me to manipulate the salt later on. And I mixed this up really well to break down any flour clumps that may have formed behind. And then I'm going to cover my pot. This is now going on medium heat and I'm covering my pot for 15 minutes. At the end of those 15 minutes when we return, we're going to start building our soup. All of these flavors are marrying and it smells so good in this kitchen. You're going to love this. And now it's time to add in our bacon. Once our bacon has been mixed in, we're going to go ahead and add in our pasta. This is the pasta that I'm going to be using. This is Rana pasta. I find this in the refrigerator section of my supermarket. And they have a huge variety of these pastas. This is the 5 cheese tortellini pasta. I know that they have the spinach ones. I've used it before. I had the chicken ones. I've had the sausage ones. And they're all so good. And they cook so fast. In 5 minutes, these are perfectly tender. So again, this was going on medium heat. And I moved this around and I'm going to let my pasta cook for 5 minutes. At the end of those 5 minutes when we return, our soup is now boiling again and our pasta is tender. Now we are going to continue building our soup. The next step is to add in 1 cup of heavy cream. I'm going to stir this around and mix everything together to incorporate the flavors. Again, this has been going on medium heat and I'm going to let it sit just for 4 minutes. When we come back at the end of those 4 minutes, all of those flavors have married and now I can turn off my stove. The soup is basically done, but I want to give you guys just some verbal information about the magic that is tortellini bacon soup. I created this soup and it was almost by mistake because the original recipes called for ham, but I didn't have ham on hand. I had bacon and I used bacon and that was the best thing I have ever done. If you're gonna make this soup, make it with bacon. If you want to use turkey bacon, go right ahead. You're not going to regret it. Thank you for watching, cousins. I hope you make this soup and I hope you enjoy it just as much as I do. See you again next time.